Well, hello there. Welcome back to the podcast, the place where we talk about all the ish no one tells you about when car shopping. This podcast is sponsored by Car Envy and The Car Strategist. So, Session 1, Season 1. I remember watching a movie, Sweet Home Alabama, with Reese Witherspoon. And when the opening credit starts, you see lightning and typical romance type movies. The boy and the girl, get ready to kiss. And she asks the boy, well, why do you want to marry me anyway? And he says, so that I can kiss you anytime I want. Now, it seems kind of strange to use that as my example. But what other car owners don't tell you is for you to think about why you're making that car purchase. What were you thinking? Why do you need that car? So I'm going to take you through literally 4 different things to kind of get you going and to make you think about, or to allow you to think about, why are you making this car purchase, right? And this is the search before we get into the research process. And so this whole point is to kind of get Jesus going. It starts introducing you to what cars, trucks, what kind of vehicles are out there, and not going in and boxing yourself in by creating a debt that you cannot afford by walking to a dealership and buying a car. Because you can buy a car. Anybody can buy a car. The thing is to be able to buy a car, the right car, at the right price, at the right time for you. That's the whole point. So, if you have a seat, your favorite cup of hot coffee, hot tea, sit back, and let's talk about this. When you're buying a car, start with, why am I buying this car? Why are you buying this car? Then go through the thought process of, am I buying this car because A, Joe has one, and so I want a car too. See, that's the thing people don't tell you. You shouldn't go buy a car because Joe has one, right? You should go buy a car because maybe it's your first car, number 1. Or number 2, because you have a car that's on its last leg and you need a replacement. Number 3, you're possibly moving away to college and you need a more reliable car. Number 4, your commute to work is a little further. You need a better car. Number 5, your family's growing, and so you need a car. So think about, why are you taking on this purchase? People don't tell you to think about, why are you making this purchase? It's almost as if, I can remember when I was younger and my friends had kids, right? And I wanted to have kids. And they never told me that these kids, when you have these babies, they never go to sleep. And, all these different things. The car buying's the same thing. It's a process. And people simply don't tell you all the ish that you need to know in between, right? So as you're doing your search, what type of vehicle do you want? Do you want a car? Do you want a truck? Do you want an SUV, a crossover, hatchback, a minivan? Do you know the difference? This is the time to start exploring. Do you know what kind of color you want? There's a lot of white cars on the road. There's a lot of silver cars on the road. There's a lot of black cars on the road. There's a lot of red cars on the road, blue cars. What fits your personality? What are you looking for in a car? Then start thinking about, what are my must-haves? What must I have in a car? I want a sunroof. I've got to have a radio system that makes me happy. I've got to have, for example, auto start, right? I've got to have some type of system where, because I've got a baby, I need to be able to open the trunk with my foot and not have to search up under, right, to open the trunk. Those are the things that you start thinking about as you're starting the search process. Kind of wander off to dealerships. Not wander off, but, go to your local dealership after hours when you don't want to be disturbed. Of course, safety's first. And look at the different type of vehicles. It'll give you a good idea what makes sense and what doesn't. I have attached to this podcast the worksheet for you to just process. Start the search process of what you want in a vehicle and why are you willing to take on this expense. That's part of the ish that people don't tell you when you're in the process of shopping for a car. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.